make a video about songwriting, and this is honestly for anyone who's never songwritten before, for people who already make their own music, people who write and love to write but maybe just want a little bit of perspective on how to turn that into songs, piecing things together. And so I thought that it might be valuable, as it is valuable for anyone who is experienced and has experimented creating music, to share different modes of writing songs and making music and getting experimental, getting in the flow, jamming, that have helped me. So I've come from a family of musicians. Started learning guitar because I felt it was supportive for someone like me who wanted to play an instrument while singing. You could do that with any instrument, but guitar is really a nice grounding point. Even two basic chords, like an E minor and an A minor, or an E and an A, or learning D and G and C, I recommend. And you could also go for keyboard or piano or any instrument you want. Go with what you're feeling called to. And sometimes to create song concepts, I'll just start jamming and I'll use two basic chords going back and forth and just let whatever wants to come out. And that's a really cool way to come up with song concepts that, again, later on when recording, Ableton or Logic, whatever you're using, you can make it more complex even if you're not recording it later. I recommend seeing where that takes you. Utilize flow state jams. Often I just am jamming in the moment, and what I'll do is I'll go on voice memos on my phone and I'll record it. What I recommend is letting your raw, authentic expression come out, and I find that to be such a calming process and really cathartic. And so yeah, that in itself is just so beautiful, and I really feel like that's a huge part of the creative process, seeing what wants to come through and what your mind comes up with when you're just letting yourself flow. And what I find when I listen back to the voice memos, either I came up with a whole song, or I came up with something that I really like that I can put into a song I'm already working on, or I just had a really cathartic experience, or there's a part of it that I really like that I use for something else or turn into a full song. So it really depends. And the more you do that on your own, from my experience, the more you get comfortable just jamming with other people and letting it be silly and playful and fun. And I think that's one of the best things. Yeah, so if you're trying to get into Ableton or Logic, on certain programs, sample beats you can use, and that's a fun way to start, but also just getting experimental with it. I've made sounds with all sorts of objects. You can even use your voice to make different beats and sounds. Doing it non-judgmentally and starting small really matters, because I think it's really helpful to just start, take it step by step, even if you really don't know what you're doing, just starting somewhere. Usually things aren't as intimidating if you just begin and just try it out. So yeah, just getting acquainted with GarageBand or Logic or Ableton with songwriting. You can totally do it the traditional way if you want to do verse, chorus, bridge, verse, outro, that kind of scheme of what you usually hear in most music. You can hear those when you're songwriting. I feel like it becomes more and more natural. Number 5 is practice singing in the car. I'll just practice it over and over while I'm driving, usually alone. If it has challenging vocals, just repeat the same line of a song over and over. Feel my vocal cords and practice doing different sequences, and I'll just, do the same riff over and over sometimes. And it helps me with feeling the vibrations, and sometimes I'll literally visualize when I'm singing. I'll visualize the sounds in my voice, doing certain waves and making certain motions. Really what I want to emphasize in this video is there's no one way to do it. There's no one way to do anything. If you want to write it all out beforehand and start recording, cool. If you want to just start recording something and see where it goes, cool. If you want to work backwards, cool. You can really take any piece of writing and create a cool melody for it. Music is totally a language of its own. Sometimes I'll free write a poem or just thoughts and turn that into a song. And it's really just what you feel in the moment, and it can be different every single time.